Okay, that's usually termed.
I'm smiling.
Oh,
Dang.
I won't be for long though. Once we get into this.
Oh.
Hey everybody, this is our weekly show based around Genesis Battle of Champions. So we're in the progress of running a local tournament tonight, constructed, and running the store. So if I have to jump away, I'll be keeping you entertained, and I promise you won't be just looking at her phone all evening. But anyway,
Just trying to get the thing to catch up.
Catch up, yeah.
It was off.
So I apologize if it seems to be choppy. We're having a little bit of difficulties with our streaming lately for some reason, but just a quick apology on that. So, hey, JC, yes, JC, Fight Club. Here we go. We're ready for a battle in the arena for sure. And hey, Kev C, good morning down under. I believe that's where he's at.
For us, it's evening.
What's that?
I said for us, it's evening.
For us, it is evening. Yes.
7:50.
So as always. What's that? Yeah, it's 7:35 here. Yes. So, as usual, thank you to Haunted Castle Games for giving us Genesis that we love to play. Right, as always, Sid, the creator of the game, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. I'll say that straight off the top. We have a stretch goal. If we hit 250 subscribers, we're going to be giving away a full set of the 3-year anniversary champion promos that we're giving out for the 3rd-year anniversary package. So get your friends to check out our Genesis content and like and subscribe to the channel. We hit that goal of 250. We'll be doing a raffle to all our viewers. And who knows, maybe some other stuff, as always, right? So, but yeah, we're going to get into good discussion. As people may know, J2 second print is now available. It's out. A lot of retailers are starting to get it. We've received it here at Heads Gaming, and yeah, and the differences in the actual second printing of J2. So I did bring here beside me sealed box. Yay. JC's name on the front cover as always. But the very first difference between the first and second printing, you will notice the Haunted Castle Gaming watermark or branded foiling. Or packaging, cellophane, whatever you want to call it, really. Over the
it has writing.
It has the Haunted Castle writing on there. You can see it. Haunted Castle, yay! On the packaging. So that's the very first number one distinguished difference. So when you're purchasing sealed boxes and you don't see that Haunted Castle, chances are it's going to be the first printing of the J2 set. Outside of that, now on the first printing, there were a lot of misrun. So, for instance, I think it's Revenge of the Phoenix was printed as at action speed, whereas normally it is a Swift speed card. So you're going to see those changes in the actual cards themselves for any corrections. So I think moving forward from this point on, that all the newer cards would be more tournament legal compared to those cards that were made mistakes, and more or less is what I have a kind of feeling that's what they're going to be labeled as, right? Which there was very few. I think there was a spelling mistake on Windslash within the. I'm not sure. I haven't really checked into that one to see if it was actually corrected.
I haven't even heard of that.
Any other differences?
I'm disappointed.
What's the main one? You should know.
You were the people's champion. Now you're
The EPICS.
The EPICS, exactly. Yeah. So
EPICS.
the EPICS.
I was gonna say it's gonna be something so obvious. I can't even think of it right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it out of the sleeve so people can see the. So it's not so glary. So the EPICS. Full art, borderless, absolutely gorgeous cards, right? J2 binder here. I'll crack this open so we can show the difference.
Yeah. Same. Literally.
You'll be able to see the difference. So this is a J2 first edition Mongol right there. So you see how it's got the border, but it still has the epic on the bottom compared to the new full art one. So there's the big number one difference between your first and your
You might as well have just asked,
foils.
What are you looking for?
Foils are the same. Apparently, they had corrected the issue behind the curling of the foil. However, all the boxes that I've opened up so far, there's a lot of lines through it, right?
So what was causing them to curl?
It's just the I think the paper of it. Let's see if I get that. I don't know if this is going to show up on camera or not. Here is one that I pulled today, but it's probably not going to show up here on the thing. Maybe a little bit. I can see there's a lot of like almost looks like a straight across.
Yeah.
Point to it. Right, follow my finger straight across. You'll see some lines. There's multiple of them on it. Hey! Stop fighting over a tournament. God, I gotta keep these guys in line. It's going nuts here. Oh, there you go.
I haven't seen this. What do you mean?
Oh, yeah. So you spot them right away. If you see them up closer, there are. However, the card is not as curled.
You're gonna have a tiny bit of curl because it's a foil.
It is a foil.
That's
yeah.
a given.
It is a given. As well. Again, so you can see them. See, there's like great. Well, actually, there's even more on these because there's a whole bunch across the top. I don't know if it's going to show up here on the camera, but you're going to see a lot of that. So far, all the foils that we have pulled, have all had that issue. So it's going to be a common thing. Yeah, Little Brook, super nice. So yeah, so that's the only other difference between the first and the second edition, right? So I took a look at the actual the rest of the regular cards in the set, identical. So there's no difference. There's no difference in date, no difference in whatever, right? They look exactly the same, right? So it's going to be very, very difficult on the secondary market taking a look at these cards. So if you're holding, say, a bull shot, they're going to be identical. You're not going to be able to tell the difference, right? So, and I think Sid had mentioned it to me at one point that this is basically just a reprint set. So there with no distinguished difference outside of the EPICS and the packaging kind of thing and the corrections. So with stating that, we're going to take a look at say the value behind the cards. Right. So it's like, okay, in a lot of the TCGs in today's, whether they have a first run or a second run, there usually is more distinguished difference between them, whether it's stating on the card, huge distinguished difference on them. This one actually has none whatsoever for all your commons, uncommons, and rares outside of the EPICS, right? So it's going to be hard to determine on this, outside of those EPICS, what is first and second. So my question is there really a necessary need for difference in value between them?
Yeah. Sorry, but I mean, yeah, no, it's the same.
So
yeah.
Can show
Box of Glory.
There, you can open
I don't have my own.
Okay, yeah, why don't you open up a couple packs? I got a customer. I'll be right back.
I'm still missing the they're all freaking reds, which is really annoying. I'm seeing this hybrid deck as well.
Quickly, do you think we can open this whole box? No, I'm kidding. Just gonna watch this later. Just see what's sitting here already.
Then I'll put in some more healthy things.
Got a pack. Open it. Sadly, it's not a pack words. He left. So let's see what we get. Alrighty. Just gonna go through this quickly.
This is one of your blue teams. Maybe the card does.
So we got Baruch as move my finger. One rare. And as our other rare, got Purifying Weed.
I know, because
Pull an all foil pack on stream. Listen, I would try to. Yeah, I got the Nene.
Yeah, I'm playing my decks.
You got all of this stone protection.
Hi, James. Hello. For the rest of the pack, we got Unhinged, Tornado Wind.
No, just I need my phone. Sorry.
That's okay. Cleve. Sadistic Illusion, I think it is. I'm not the best at
I
reading.
wish there was a card that allowed
Caterpillar. And there's. Still happy that they changed that back.
Yeah.
Outing. Got a Baihu token. And Tenora.
No,
That's cool.
Get rid of flood.
Or a transmutation. Look
Or whatever.
at that artwork. It's so cool.
Oh yeah.
I do like that artwork.
And that-
It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Shadow Claw.
Because it's expensive, isn't it? As in, like,
Dark Brand.
I was looking at it and going, that's really cool abilities. And she's like, that's
And
expensive.
Power Punch. I don't know if I'm allowed to open another one.
Should
Should I open another one? I'll open another one.
My big eye is word. I need to draw a card for this turn as well. Idiot. Go.
Alrighty. We got Arcane Shield. A Cleave again. Fire Hill. I think is how you pronounce that. And a Duda. And Tarantula. We got Hidualis as our first rare.
People are
Demon's
going
Rage
for
is our
the
second.
secondary on singles though. More so than
Erica.
buying the sealed.
For our
What do we
champions.
get? We get anything good?
Got Punch.
Oh, well, you can't bring everything with you.
Inferno Pits. Walls of Vadis.
That's right.
Walls. And Cattail Tiger.
Nice.
No, I didn't pull anything too good.
What am I going?
Nothing
Not,
crazy.
not
No
over
epics.
the top, no. Just
No epic foils.
Not there.
We'll eventually get some.
Wave and Nene here.
Yes. Demon's Rage is still good. Yes, 100%.
Pull a
Yeah.
JC pack. I pulled a. Yeah.
Pulling all foil on stream. Yeah, I wish.
Yeah, I know, right?
We've done
Hi,
that.
son.
We did that once with JC actually. When
I
you
did.
and him did the Pack Wars, our version of Pack Wars kind of thing. Hi, Hassan. Thanks for joining us tonight. So yeah, I mean it's so it was brought to my attention too by some of my community members as well. So I'm get some participation in the chat in regards to this issue. Taking a look at the secondary market now, as far as the J2 to name these right, it's like J22. I think is a joke that we had because the original printing being called just J2, right? So it's like, however, with there being no major distinction difference between cards, right? Terminator's first edition could end up causing an issue on the secondary market, right? So it's like, but
I don't think it should matter.
it shouldn't
like,
matter. I don't think
same
it should matter
card.
either, right? Especially with when it had stated that this is just strictly straight up a reprint set. However, he wanted to make the collectability of the EPICS, better, right? Kind of thing.
And
So
that's literally the only difference aside from the like wrapping. It's like it's a reprint to then set comes out.
before Origins
There
comes
is
out, yeah.
no difference in the cards.
Well, outside of the EPICS. So
Well, no, that's what I mean, right? But like the rest of them.
but then I mean, so Genesis on its own though has kind of, it's only been out for 5 years, and it's difficult to determine values behind the cards, right? So with very few stores actually putting those values online or what they're willing to sell the cards for, et cetera, right? And having some of them even trying to push the limits as far as how high are these cards actually worth and the value behind them on the secondary market. Where are these values coming from is more or less where I'm trying to go with this. So like even some of the old promos like alpha and beta, and it's like it just kind of like started going absolutely crazy, right, compared to when the game first came out, right? And now that the game's okay, I get it, I understand having a higher value on those, but on a reprint set like this, right? So it's like some people were kind of questioning as far as how much are these epics going to be worth, right? And like the difficulty to pull them. So for example, JC had dropped by last night to visit, and I'm like, hey, let's open up a couple boxes together, right? So I like doing that with JC. It makes opening a lot of fun, right? So it's one box alone. We ended up pulling 4 epics and 2 foils in the same box, and he can vouch for it. In it 1 foil per box. Whether it's the first print or the second print is basically where I'm going with this. But so I mean, setting the difference in values have to be an extremely huge difference in value. And so my community was questioning about it because they have already started seeing that these cards are the new epics, right? Going for like ridiculous amounts already, right? Like up on some of these epics, I think is going to kind of, hurt it necessarily to go that high on them, or should it be more at an affordable, right? So that we want to see people play with these cards, right? Rather than just having them, oh my God, this card's worth $100 or something like that, and shoving it in a binder, and then it's never going to see play. These cards, I think these cards should be played. So I mean, if I get enough of them, which I probably won't because my community gobbles most of them up, I would definitely play this, like say this Chrono, for instance, outside of the regular one. So I mean, it's like
a whole deck of just borderless epics,
right? So I mean, like
eventually.
playing with fancy cards and stuff like that. It's so awesome having that experience. Like I still play with my Alpha Champions, right? Most of my Nubia and Idris decks, I'm using that Alpha Champion because it's part of my history more or less with Genesis, right? And I love that artwork, right? Don't get discouraged, Damian. I still love using all your champions as well. So
don't worry, I use it.
Well, even some of Philip's artworks as well. Like I mean, from time to time I switch it, but when I'm playing in a competitive scene, I'm more or less.
What Nubia do I have?
I don't know.
Forget what artwork I got on my.
I think you're using Damian's.
I think so.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, I believe so.
So the same as the one that's on your sweater? Yeah, that's Damian's.
Okay.
Yeah. By the way, I'm wearing Damian's phone tonight. Yeah. She's dead. But anywho, off topic. Yeah, Pong's dead. Everybody cry.
Wow. What if they haven't read the lore yet? Spoiler alert.
Sorry. 2 foils, 4 epics. Yes, that's right, JC. Thanks for confirming that for me. The 1 foil pack also had an epic. Yeah, there was one pack. It actually had an epic and a foil in it. I wish we would have caught that one on stream. It was pretty awesome. I think it was one of the common epics there I showed. I think it was no, it wasn't that one. Yeah, it was super awesome. But back to the point of the value. So when it's like, okay, so doing some research as far as looking for values on the singles market, and
Son, I hated the ones which did not have text. How do you play a card that had
no text? Yeah. Actually, I think that was the Welcome to Jaelara set, or was it Ray's? Or no, I think it was the Welcome to Jay. Have to. One of the two. It was either Welcome to Jaelara or Ray's. The epics did not have any text on them, just a straight full art with the name of the card on it. And I believe it was Welcome to Jay because Ray's hadn't come out yet. And it was stated that the 2019 championship that any of those could not be used, right? So during the championship, and if you had them in your deck, they had to be switched out, right? So that way all players could see the text on the card. But yeah, still super nice to look at having full art cards, but not being able to play with them in the competitive scene. But
yeah, those are like collector thing, more or less. Yeah.
Plus, there was the part of the 3-year anniversary, the full art foils, right? So it's like having those cards because there's no text period, not even the name of the card is on it. Yeah, you have a set of them. We got them in the 3rd-year anniversary package. They're just straight foiled, and they're printed sideways.
Oh,
the
yeah,
angel and
those
ones. Yeah, super nice. They're gorgeous cards.
They're in your binder. My set's in your binder.
Your set is in my binder. Yeah. but I'm in the competitive scene. So
yeah, it's hard to as well because it's like as common as those ones were, like the ones that were printed. Like what were there was the Angel, the Behemoth, there were two more.
yeah, there were two more.
Yep.
I just feel
Full shot.
Yep.
Just as a rule, it is just bullshit.
Oh my god, what was that last one?
Oh, faltering.
Yeah.
What was the fourth one? Will the 3-year anniversary package? It was the Angel, Behemoth, Bullshot. What was the fourth? Necro.
Was it?
Yes, it was Necro. Oh, my own card. Oh my god, how can I forget that? Oh wow.
And now
Wow. Such a disappointment to the game. I feel bad. I forgot my own card. Anyway, but yeah.
like those are so easy to remember what they do, except for Behemoth because I don't play it nor see it. But I mean the rest of them, those would be easy to play with. Everyone knows what they do.
I mean, if I had the
Four.
ability, if I had enough of them, and I probably could, I think I may potentially have enough of them to build a full Necro deck with just using those, right, would be so awesome. I know Sid was using a full out long deck that was all foils at the championship. I remember him playing it. So I mean,
doesn't he have like a full deck of like just epics? But I think it was the foils that I was
I think it was
thinking
just
about.
foils, yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember him playing it. So super awesome to see people playing those old cards, right? Or full timelines and stuff like that too, right? So it's like, but. Well, no, and that's you on those cards, right? Just because they're foil, or just because they're a new printing of an epic, right? To having them like extremely high in value like that makes it very difficult for players to achieve that play experience epics, right, in their timelines when they're being pushed to lewd amounts of money, right? Like, whereas. We really don't have a concrete way of determining official values. Like, so Genesis hasn't been picked up by, like, say, TCG Player or like their face-to-face games or anything along those lines, where a lot of smaller retailers have a tendency to take a look at those markets to determine value of what's out there. Right? So, like, I know it does have a lot to play on supply and demand. So it's like how many of these are actually in print. So I know there's a guy on that I had met. He was at the championship, Shockwave. So he was tracking print runs and how many of this set was out, how many of this card was in existence, right? And he was doing some shows on it. And I watched his video, so a huge shout out to him. But at this point now, it's like we have so much of J2 in existence, right? And it's not going to be that difficult to get these epics, right? Whether you're buying it to obtain enough of them to play the game using epics, right? So, which is what I know Sid had expressed it too, stating that he'd like to see more of that on top of it too. But pushing those limits as far as to how far can we get, or how much money can we get for these cards, players, right? So, or even collectors for that matter, right? And it's like, okay, well, like myself being a huge collector of Genesis, but not to the point where it's like hounding, right? So it's like I have my own personal collection. You have your own personal collection of Genesis kind of thing, right? So, but it's not looking at it because of the monetary value behind it, but because of the sentimental value of it. So that, which there is, I believe myself personally, there's a huge difference between that, right? So when people start putting too much of a monetary value to it, right, outside of are they really playing the game? Do they really care about the game? Do they have that passion for the game? But they're just obtaining it. It's like, oh, everybody's playing it, everybody wants it, so I'm gonna hoard it kind of really high, or pushing the boundaries to as how far can they.
But first of all, it's a good thing now that they put the text boxes and writing and everything on the epic, so then we can actually play them.
Yep.
That's good. First of all, second of all, as I was going to say, you also don't want this to become a game the prices so fast.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I have watched other games that I grew up playing right now become so overpriced. It's ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this is supposed to be a fun game, and I mean, want it to be affordable so that people can
for
still
people,
play
yeah,
it,
to
right?
be able to get it. Even the older product too. So say like Alpha Beta, Welcome to Jay, Rays and whatnot. So I know Craze had his. I know Sid, last year's championship winner, and myself were both offered an obscene amount of money for our alpha boxes, right? Which both of us had refused to sell, right? Because of, we won it, right?
Yeah.
Well, he won his for winning the championship. I won mine at the first auction.
Oh, I thought you had just like kept it from when it first came out.
No, we didn't keep any outside of the 2-player starter kits that we had, which I have some of those sealed. But all my alpha got to sell it at the store and
Don't
played
you
at the
have
store.
one like it's got Essence Drain on it, and it's like the really really first packaging that.
Those are alpha packs.
Yeah.
But then you're going back even further with pre-alpha, right? So with pre-alpha, cards are going to be available in Origins Kickstarter boxes, right? So it's like already we're starting to see stuff on getting, I think, like $2,000+ right? Like, is it really necessary, right? Like, I know it's a little bit crazy, I think, as far as those values are steep, a little too aggressive, I think, for this game, right? But I mean, stuff like people were even telling me, and I had seen it, that the Heads or Tails Giant Scorpion was selling for like $1,000, and I thought, it's like, oh my god, it's ridiculous, right? Like, but then there's like only 18 in existence, right? So
For which one, sorry?
the Giant Scorpion,
Oh yeah.
Heads or Tails Scorpion promo, right? And it's like, and even like a Death's Companion one, or any other store promo, right? That's out there.
They're only limited.
The amount or the quantities, right? So, and people really sought after them, are going to pay top dollar to get them, right? So, and it's like, well, depending on what they're willing to pay for it, et cetera, but to our community members,
but then I'm afraid of you stealing one of my
not wanting to put a monetary value, and people have even recently contacted me asking if I have any of those left or whatnot, and what I'd sell them for, and I didn't sell them, right? So the very few that I have left, I kept for my collection, kind of thing, personal reasons, right? For being one of the longest running stores for Genesis, right? But like even some of the Future League cards promos that were put out, like being so few print runs, like I think there's 5 of the Brook, Will. 5 Brooks from the Future League. 8. Okay, 8 in there's only 8 of them in existence, right? So it's like selling for obscene amounts of money. But I believe it's reversed. It's an alternate art, and it's facing the Nene is facing the opposite direction.
Oh yeah, I do remember seeing this.
Yeah.
I've seen me somewhere.
Yeah. So I mean, the owners of those cards, me being one of them, will probably never sell those cards, right? So I mean, having that high of a monetary value on it, I think is a little absurd. But, whereas you can just get these, right? Like so many of them. There's the nice full art Brook again, everybody. Yay! Loving them. So setting values to these, right? With knowing very well you're going to be able to pull a considerable amount of them through sealed product. Most likely any retailer that's opening up product or whatnot for their secondary market, it's going to have a considerable amount of them. I'm not setting them personally myself that high. Basically, it's going to be the same as the first print run. So if the card's valued at this, it's going to be probably double. With it, the difference between the first print run and the second print run, border and borderless, probably a couple of dollars more, right? Is what I'm going to be more or less setting it at, with no real concrete determinable, and easier for people to obtain them rather than having them jack triple from what the original ones were.
Yeah.
A couple of more at best. Let's get people getting them, obtaining them a lot easier. And playing them, using them, right? It's like seeing these full arts. I'm super.
Mm-hmm.
So especially when I face JC and he drops one of these on the field. But I don't know. Anybody out there have a different opinion as far as values behind first, second? So somebody even brought it to my attention that first
I hate Coon.
were unstable.
I hate Coon. Yeah. In the stream, hear that? I hate Coon.
Will just announced he hates Coon.
I hate Coon.
Hates. Why?
Yeah, why?
Why? Why?
Stop. I have to play really, really well.
Who are you running?
Idris.
Idris?
I have to play really well.
He's crying.
Yeah.
He's crying. Will's actually crying tonight. Wow.
All I want is a
On my end also. Oh, the video keeps cutting out. Yeah, we're having a little bit of difficulty. It keeps telling. Hopefully it's a little bit better. Maybe we should hardwire you in next time instead of using the Wi-Fi. It might work out a little better because we have a hardwire line we should use. Sorry about that. We apologize. We're cutting out. But the question I had asked out to the community there before it got a little choppy, that white cord hanging behind the TV. It actually runs all the way to the internet box. But so yeah, the question I had asked, it's like, and have talked to me, messaged me throughout the day, wondering about the values and where the prices are going to be set on these epics. Community members, what would you like to see? Like, put out a word, message us, let us know. Also, too, on the Discord or whatnot, you can contact me. I'd like to hear from you guys as far as what you think value behind these or the collectability behind it. So I know a lot of people are going to try and want to get a full set, right? Like as myself, probably. Oh, we're cutting out again. Sorry.
I've literally done enough.
I'm gonna pick this thing up.
Yeah, but you're killing all of my summons.
We're not cutting out. It's actually not.
Okay. They're just cut out. Oh no, you're okay.
No, we're just frozen.
So James is saying prices are crazy high. I purchased my epics for 357 from older sets.
Just take that back.
You okay?
7 from older sets. Which set? I don't know what sets you're or Rays, or if it was just the J1, J2 first printing. And also too, it all depends on the cards as well too. So it's like high demand cards such as say like the Angel or Stone Protector, Baruch, Bullshot, etc. Like, should they necessarily be higher than say some of the other ones like High Duelist or Mongol because of the playability of the actual card? So I know in a lot of other TCGs, that's where a lot of the value comes from for the cards too. It's like the playability of it. A lot of people want it because of how good the card is. So like, should values on these ones in Genesis, should they be higher because of it, right? So, but with Jaelara Second Edition period being a reprint, all in, like, these cards are not accessible. You're able to pull a considerable amount of bull shots out of a sealed box, or a considerable amount of Baruch or Chrono Walker, Kabus, even Kabus, right? So it's like, although I don't know, one of the boxes I opened, what did we pull? 2 Kabus?
Yeah.
There's like 2 Kabus in the
Yeah,
whole
we should
box.
open the rest of that one, so we.
Go back in my binder.
Well, they're meat for it, so.
Yeah, be careful when you're doing that. You're gonna like lose your binder off the table.
No, I'm holding it. Well, this is an epic. I don't know why I can't find this. There it
Going the
is.
wrong way.
Yeah, I went the wrong way. But yeah. So, like, I mean, even if we take a look at foils, even so, like the foils, I think are going to be a little bit more difficult. So determining values behind the foils, right? So first off, the condition, right? So the first print run, they were curled. However, I know Sid had that program in place where you can exchange your curled ones for better ones, right? However, the better ones, even then, they have those lines. I remember them stating that. And then seeing it in these ones as well, again, you're going to have those lines on it. So it's,
To be honest, I'd rather have lines in my cards than it curl because I cry when they curl. It's so sad to see.
I'm on the opposing side of that. I would rather see a curl than having those lines across the foil, right? So whereas a curl, you can actually sleeve it, put it in a binder, and let it sit for quite some time, and it'll flatten out.
Yeah, that's
Right.
true.
So
Okay, yeah,
which
the
is
lines
what
won't
I've been
go
doing with
away.
my original first printing foils.
Okay, well now you make me sit on the fence here. Gee, thanks.
Well, no. It's
No.
one side of the coin, right? It's your opinion versus mine. So I mean, but however, seeing when you take a look at that foil, you want to see it nice and shiny, and then all of a sudden that line hits you, boom, and it's like,
Yeah.
you know, it kind of, it's like, oh, there's a big huge line across the card, right?
Yeah,
It's foil, right?
If you play with it, like it's whatever.
Yep.
Like I feel like it'd be fun if I had the lines of playing with it. If you're collecting it, I think curling would. Yeah, I think they'd rather curl. I think there's different sides. Obviously, there's two.
If you're not playing it, yeah, I suppose curling is not as big of an issue. If you're playing it, then yeah, you're not, because when you have your timeline sitting there, and then if your foil is like a few cards down, and you're gonna have this like hump right in the middle of your timeline, and it's gonna be like, oh, we know where his foil card is. And,
yeah, exactly.
so it could become an issue with the play aspect of it. But flattening them out, it didn't take me long. Like, I mean, the majority. So I've been sitting in a binder, no curl.
It's fat.
Let out of the sleeve. Yep, completely flat now. No problems, no issues with it. However, no scratches, like no lines, no nothing. This thing is like beautiful. Yeah, loving it. I think it was, yeah, right there. So, but yeah, so I mean, it's a matter of opinion. What would the community like? I know everybody's to have it 100% perfect foiled card, right? No curls, no lines, no nothing, right? So, but I mean, but then it's like, okay, well, now that we're seeing this, are we going to see perfect 100% foil cards in Genesis? And or they got those lines across from them, determining those values that are out there that I've researched on, especially, right, getting a little outrageous, a little ridiculous, right, because of the condition of the card, right?
I know we have that grading thing, but I mean, it's like compared to like other grading places or whatever, right? Those lines and the curling and that
will affect the grading.
It'll affect
it will affect it. So I mean, would we ever see a 10 graded foiled card in Genesis? Probably not at this point, I don't think.
Not right now, but it could happen.
It could happen in the future. Depends on feature sets, etc., right? So, but I think that the market had gotten, like, I know we had touched base, and I talked with Will about it as well, right? And it's like determining values for Genesis right now. It's a little, the market's going crazy. What?
He called them Pringle cards.
I put my Pringle cards under a book for a few days. It helps a bit. Yeah, putting pressure on it and flattening it. Sprinkles, well, yeah, that's what they're mostly called, right? So I remember when Commander Legends for Magic came out in the foils, like instantly, we took them out of the pack, set the foil down, and we watched it. We watched it curl instantaneously. It just, and it's like, it looks exactly like a Pringle, right? So it's like, it was so bad. Yeah, Genesis not as bad with their first print run on those. It had a bit of a curled a bit, but flattening it, putting it in a binder, sleeve it right away, put it in a binder, it'll flatten it up. So as you just see, but I'd rather see that than the
but like I just said, there's if you're collecting it, curling. If you're playing it, the lines. I'm gonna bump my deck while it's sitting there.
Mm-hmm. So one thing, we're cutting out again.
It's almost like it's like what's the word there?
I don't know.
Not like purposely marking a card, because like people like, well, not saying that people do this, but well, yeah, some people do it. They like mark, like they know what's what, right? So
in their timeline, or in their deck, so to speak. Yeah, you're not supposed to do that.
No, but I feel like some people do, and I
that's where
feel like
that's
like a non-purposely.
Well, you use sleeves, right?
Yeah. Well, when it's curled, you know what the card is. So it's almost like marking, just not
Yeah.
on purpose. Is what I'm
It
trying
really-
to say. I'm trying
Right.
to
Well, that's what I had just said. So if you're playing
Yeah.
with that curled foil in your timeline, it makes it difficult to play the foils
Yeah.
right when that situation happens. So you have your timeline sitting there, and then you can see the bow in the sleeve, right, or the card on top, right.
Yeah.
You know where that foil is. You know what that card is, kind of thing. So
Yeah.
not
Mostly play
a
with
wise
all
thing.
foils and then just have basically a stack of Pringles.
Yeah, right. Your whole timeline's like a can of Pringles. I have a customer, so here,
Pack opening.
open some more packs. Sure.
Yay. I steal the spotlight again. Here's Mr. Gremlin's replacing you for now. Lukewarm, should I do it? Nope. 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 Marshall Sentry.
Three more Tommies.
Gust.
Joes, and 3 Davises.
Got
And 4
Spider.
Sledgehammers still.
Stable footing.
And only 2
Foresight of the Ancients.
But still,
Angels and
Good
Breweries.
thing is I'm still
That's a good card. Dense Fog. Another good card.
think I can make a deck.
I like those two. Earth Pillar. We got a giant scorpion. Woohoo. That's a very good card. Got Ogi. He looks pretty cool. Cork. That's really cool. How about you? Little Fox. Inferno Ghoul. I'm not holding them straight. I never do. Don't keep. And Dark Brand. There we go. That one was better than the last ones. I mean, Giant Scorpion. That's good. Giant Scorpion's decent. Never mind. Maybe. It's already open. Whoops. My finger slipped. Kodama. Left hook. Oh. Tarantula. We got 2 spiders. Forked lightning. Sandstorm. Oh, I'm not holding these properly. Sandstorm. We got the Zamberg Dragon.
But if it's white,
Called to the Bones. That's our second rare. Token 5 aura. Bear Cub.
Get some good.
Thunderstruck. Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, yeah.
Leap. And Gut Punch.
What can he control off?
And this one we got Called to the Bones and Zamberg. Oh, oops. And then Olgi with the Scorpion.
Nice. The counter attack on that is really, really nice. So, any final thoughts on what we had discussed?
No. I just would like to see this out.
To begin with, so just want to touch base. So I think it was a very short period of time after the Kickstarter had ended, right? And after it was announced, kind of thing, had noticed, and it was brought to my attention that somebody was actually trying to sell on eBay, right? So it was just like shaking my head, right? And it's like, it's ridiculous. We haven't even gotten the product
I
yet.
was gonna
right?
say,
So,
how do you manage that? Like,
yeah, so basically they're trying to jack the price. So like I know that the Kickstarter boxes are going to have a potential of getting a pre-alpha card in it, right? Plus the new foiled promos, et cetera, right? So I mean, it does make those boxes a lot more appealing and sought after. However, $1,000 for it is outlandish. I think it's a little bit ridiculous, considering of what the set price was for it on the Kickstarter. Right? So it's like eventually, as more second print comes out, we might see the bordered ones overtake the borderless.
They do stuff with
Maybe. Yeah, I think the more and more of the borderless that are out in circulation, it'll be more sought after to have those actual ones that do have the border on them, because it was limited, right, as far as the print runs. But right now, what we're seeing, the trend is that these new borderlesses are excelling over top of the first print ones as far as value, and that's what we're trying to determine. It's like why is this being set that way? Is it really necessary? Which myself personally, I don't know if you're in agreement on this one, that it is not necessary to have the values jacked up that high, right? So
No, especially for product that isn't even out yet.
well, no, that's the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
No, we're back to talking about this here, the J2.
Yeah, only for the reprint. It is these same cards with a few, as I said earlier, not in the stream, but at the side of the camera with a few extra sprinkles in it. That's it.
Right.
Like, I don't know.
People maxing out credit cards, buying everything sad. Yeah. I agree with you, James. It's like it's getting a little out of hand as far as the TCG market, but I mean that's the way the world is right now, more or less, right? But MSRP, that's the what it stands for. I don't know. Merchandise, something product resale pricing. To do with pricing. So basically, it's like what the price is supposed to be set at, right? So
What's a FOMO?
Hey, Will, what's FOMO? What's that?
Fear of missing out.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the fear of missing out. Okay, that makes sense.
Does it make sense? Does it make sense? Hey, you want to get over here for a second?
Can't beat everyone here tonight and be on stream.
Tell everybody how sad you are at losing.
I'm not losing tonight, though. I'm not
What?
sad.
You're not sad? Did you win?
Yeah.
You won?
I always win.
Are you
Okay,
enjoying the
so
tournament?
you gotta come on stream and explain how happy you are
is
for
second
winning.
I'll take this.
No,
Yeah.
not yet. I do have doubles of it already. So.
You didn't explain how
However,
happy you were.
however, they're saying.
No.
I mean, yeah, people are afraid, but is it necessary to hound the product, right, and start gobbling it all up, and then reselling it or waiting for it? You know, people do it, right? There are collectors out there that take it to the extreme, wanting to have all of it or everything of it, right? So it's like, and I think I had that conversation with a Sid once, and it's like having as much product that I had, right? And it's just like, well, do I need it, right? I don't. So I just like started fleshing it back out into the community, and it's like, hey, yeah, I have like 4 or 5 of these promos. It's like I don't need that many of them. I need one, right, for my collection, kind of thing. However, there are some timelines that I like to play some of the promotional cards more heavily or whatnot, because it's amazing cards that have been printed, right? That's what they're essentially made for, right? You play the cards, you play the game, right? It's that experience too of opening the pack, right? It's like, oh my god, you have that amazing experience of pulling open that epic rare or whatnot.
And then the smell of
showing it
fresh
off.
pack.
Smelling of a fresh pack. Smelling of a fresh pack. Here, let's open. We're gonna open. No, it's the inside. You gotta smell
And
the
the
inside.
outside.
No, the inside. So you crack it open. Nice. That's that fresh cardboard smell. Fresh cardboard smell. Olgan enraged.
We got
Epiphany.
Epiphany,
Hey.
Lightless,
Lightless.
is
That's
good.
my puppy.
and Epic Substrate.
Ooh, there we go. Pull an epic sub.
See, why couldn't I pull this pack when he was away?
There's our girl, Fong. That sword. God, those so gorgeous, those cards, right? Like it's just, yeah, without having that border around it, right? I mean, hopefully in the future we'll see Haunted Castle Gaming's actually printing more of these borderless cards. I personally myself would like to see a full-blown set of nothing but borderless cards, right? Like it can be done. You get your commons, your uncommons, like all, or either that you have it split. So it's like only so many of the borderlesses are actually in the set. So you pull in a lot of the uncommon that's borderless, right? The chaseability, the fun of aiming to get those cards.
Yeah.
Right? So, however, value, right, is what we're really targeting here as far as the game itself, right, on the secondary market, which had become an issue. Right? So,
It's pretty card for card.
anyways, one of every card. What is a master set?
No, one of every
Oh,
card.
okay, yeah.
That's
Oh,
the-
Hassan was
yeah.
asking the question. What is a master set? Yeah, so it's basically real collector like myself kind of thing, where you're collecting one of. There's that glare from the pages. But yeah, this is my J2 binder. It's just one ofs, right? So it's just for my own history involvement in Genesis. I think I'm failing miserably on showing this, but anywho. And then I have all the first print epics and then the foils that I'm still working on, and obviously now just the new epics, and probably so we'll have the corrected card as well as part of the master set. Packaging, yes. So
I
yeah,
didn't
don't
realize. Made in Canada.
made in Canada, yes. Canadian proud, love it.
Love
But yeah, no, even back to the differences, like there is no distinguished difference between first and second print run on the packaging either. None. So like I examined it 100%, looked it over, could not find a single thing that says, hey, I got this pack of Jaelara Second Edition, right? And they're going to say, oh, is it first print or second print, right? No way to tell.
Unless it said Jaelara Second Edition reprint, but
It doesn't. Nothing. So, and when I talked to Sid, he's like, it's basically the of the corrections and the epics, right? So,
you're terrifying.
changing the value behind the cards, right? Whether like on your regular print or your regular cards outside of the epics, I personally don't think should be different at all. Period, 100%. As far as the epics, so as I said, first run, you're gonna have a set value. But a good point that was mentioned, those bordered ones are going to be harder to get once more of these ones are out in circulation. Right?
Yeah.
So, it's going to be interesting to see how the market trends switch on it. Right, so time will tell. So, but just be wary. Don't. I recommend to people don't blow your wallets on spending oodles and oodles of money on overpriced epic cards and whatnot versions. So it's just my personal opinion. But
You might as well buy a box at that point. You
yeah,
just
no,
pray.
that's sort of mentioned. Somebody had
Your
asked me, they had
bullets.
noticed there was some online pricing for the new epics, right? And then right away they were I was getting phone calls and messages asking, it's like, oh, are these going to be your set prices for it? And it's like, I had no awareness of what was going on as far as the opening values of those cards. And it's like, once they started telling me, and I was dumbfounded. And it's like, why is my number one question. It's like, who's actually setting these values, right? When there's no, why these cards should be so high.
Yeah.
But alpha, beta, I get it. Yeah. Super hard to get, and like as I said, or certain promos and whatnot there's only so many, and I can see those being higher. These, there's no need for it. It's unnecessary, but that's my
Especially
personal.
since we literally just got more of it.
Gotta go. Have a good night. Bye, James. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you later. I'll download the rest for work. Perfect. There could be a long period of parity in between. Who knows?
I don't know why you would on it's trash.
But yeah, so I think we're probably gonna wrap it up here for the evening.
It's okay, just
We
keep
gotta
going.
fix that.
Yeah.
Definitely gotta fix it. But anyway, we want to say thank you for joining us on the show tonight. And again, this is our opinion, one side of the coin. You guys can go away with it as you wish, and make your own opinion about the discussion. Reach out to us, as I said, on Discord or whatnot, or send us a message in the comments, and we'd like to keep the discussion going. As always, right? So be sure to drop by Heads or Tails Gaming. We run Genesis twice a week. Tournaments for Saturday have been registered as constructed, but now that we have product,
Drafting!
yay, we got product. We're gonna start to run. Guess what? Drafts. and sealed events again. So I'll probably go back and do some editing on those and punch a bunch of drafts, right? So love playing draft. It's going to be so much fun. So this Saturday, actually, we will be doing a draft here at the store. So if you want to participate, come on down to Heads or Tails Game, 131 Erie Ave, Brantford, Ontario. Social medias, go quick.
We have the 2 Facebook groups, the Real Heads or Tails Gaming Facebook group and the Real Heads or Tails Gaming BOC, like Genesis BOC group. Heads.or.tails9 is TikTok.
Yep.
Type Heads or Tails Gaming, you'll probably find it too.
Yeah, that's about it. Check out Mack-Attack. She's also on TikTok as well and Instagram. She does her own content there as well. So, Matt, shout out to Richard Summers for his EDH's Life. Be sure to check him out. I think he's going to be doing a box opening for Genesis second edition as well. Coming up soon. He supports the store really good in our content as well. So, but he's mostly Magic Commander stuff. So, yeah, definitely check him out if you want to catch any of his content. That's about it. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Respect your mom. She gave birth to you. Mother's Day is coming up. So I want to say happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, especially my wife who's a mom, my mom who loves Genesis as well, and everybody else's mom out there. Hope you have an amazing day this Sunday coming up. And Cam, I know you're at home watching, probably, hopefully.
This is woman speak.
Anybody else?
No.
We say don't
about it.
Oh, you're not even gonna say to mom?
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
My beautiful wife that gave birth to this crazy
Nuthead of a
psycho
kid.
yeah. Child abuse. Anyway, so thanks for joining us here on One Side of the Coin, and be sure to tune in next Thursday night where we continue the conversation.
Like and subscribe.
I always said that at the
forget
beginning.
that.
Be sure to like and subscribe.
Yeah,
So,
say it again. No,
What?
no shame in saying it again.
no shame.
Bye.
Just a massive rush.
And just
This
do a
is
dance
what
because
don't
it's